spoken about. There are three different kinds of mixed methods. First one is triangulation, which sees the two sides as equal. So there's a qualitative side, we have data and results. And we have a quantitative side, we have data and results. And together, they give you the interpretation. The second one is explanatory mixed methods. In explanatory mixed methods, you have quantitative first, which you then follow up by qualitative. So you have your findings on the quantitative side, and then you think, so why would this be? And then you go investigate this on the qualitative side, which is why it's explanatory, because you're going to try and explain why your results are as they are. And the third one then is exploratory, which is where you do qualitative research, so you explore, then you end up with some specifics. You take those specifics into the quantitative domain, and your answer would come out of them both. So your answer would be, in the first case, in the middle between the two of them, so quantitative and qualitative together, and the other two are in sequence. First you do quantitative, and then you follow that up with qualitative, and secondly you do qualitative first, and then you build a model in a quantitative environment. Are you aware of the difference between a framework and a model? Is a framework and a model the same? Are they? No. Why not? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Who says yes? Framework and a model. Yeah, but I've given this thing away, huh? So they're not the same. Basically what we do, and we do that when we do our research proposal, when I said, why don't you draw a roadmap of the process through your research? You draw. This leads to this, leads to this, and this leads to that. It's nice to draw these things in PowerPoint, save them as a JPEG, and plug them in there. Beautiful. I did my Michelangelo thing. Those are frameworks. A lot of the time in research, we propose a conceptual framework. How so? Because we look at the literature, and from the literature we tend to believe that the following links exist between the elements in what we say. So we have this, and we could go to that. We draw that. So there's some variable. That variable leads to that one, but it also leads to this one. Then together, they lead to that variable, and that one leads to that variable. It's a framework. It's a conceptual framework. So from your understanding of the literature, you draw this. And actually here, you have that as a dependent variable. And these are in a way independent variables. So there's that impacting on that impacting on that, and that impacting on that. And this is the ultimate dependent variable. That is a conceptual framework. So you are, from the literature, conceptualizing a possible framework between the elements that you are investigating. Most likely you get these from the theoretical objectives. Right. Now, a lot of the literature always talks about a model, but mostly they use that in the wrong context. Because a model would be either a model with a bikini on, or it would be this, where all of these links have been calculated. Which is called structural equation modeling. Ever heard that word? Yes. That's it. It's even in the film industry, it's all over. So what structural equation modeling does, it takes the conceptual framework, your picture of how you see the links between the elements that you are investigating, and it tests for that and tells you whether that is true or not. In fact, what structural equation modeling can do would be to say, but that doesn't exist. Take that one out. It will also indicate the strengths of these relationships. Because if that beta, that coefficient there is pretty small, it says that these two aren't very well correlated. If that beta is very big, it means that that one has a very strong influence on that. So by changing it into a model, you are actually saying that you've undertaken a quantitative technique called structural equation modeling, or sometimes they use Israel to do that, and you've tested these links between these variables. If you haven't done that, and you can only do that on the quantitative side, if you haven't done that, you have a qualitative study. You continue with the qualitative study, and it's okay to draw these things and not to do that, because it comes out of your literature, so long as you can show that. So in structural equation modeling, they would write that as a null hypothesis, or an alternative hypothesis actually. And every one of these hypotheses would be a test to determine whether there really is a relationship between those. So be careful when you use the word model, because when you say, I have now developed a model, let's do that. If you don't, then what you've done is developed a conceptual framework. That's fine. That's fine. You are contributing to the body knowledge, but you can only call it a model if you've done structural equation modeling on the quantitative side. So you need data here and data there so that you can determine whether the null hypothesis is true or false here. Aha! So next time you open